All right, we're well underway in the Dark Below. So the Nightfall and weekly strikes and other level 30 content is getting slightly easier, as most people are at least level 31 now. So it's like we were level 29 with the old Nightfall, which was level 28 at the time. So I think it's getting easier for everybody to run through, especially since a bunch of the old strikes are being used as well again for the Nightfall. This week it is the Nexus. I don't know if you've heard already. It's the Nexus with void damage.
Yeah, I'm not entirely happy about that.
No, void
would
damage
love
is
to
the
see
shittiest
solar
one.
damage. Yeah, especially with the last boss.
Yeah.
It hits really hard, so it's very annoying to do. Even with our special tactic to stay on top and kill the Minotaur, it's still very hard.
Did you see the Titan knocking people down?
No, no.
Titans don't approve of cheating. No, it's the shoulder charge.
Yeah, Warlock can also do that with Solar Wind melee attack. So.
Yeah, but he was just knocking people down that were trying to stay.
No, I just stick with friends and not playing Nightfalls with strangers.
No, void damage is a rough one because the Minotaurs obviously do void damage. The last boss itself does serious void damage as well, with a lot of splash damage. Even at level 30, running a level 28 Nightfall, the Nexus was one where you had to be careful at the end with the splash damage. Being level 31 and the Nightfall being level 30, it's gonna be, you just have to be really careful. Especially the room before going to the last boss, the area where the Minotaurs are. That's a bit of a tricky point as well. Because you have to clear both sides. To the right there are a bunch of goblins, and to the left you get the Minotaurs, and of course the hobgoblins too in the back are sniping as well. So that is one area where you have to be really careful, especially since the Minotaurs, once you've aggroed them, they just keep going for you. Even if you pull back in, there's no hiding. You have to take them down as fast as possible. So if you have a good machine gun, for example, that's a good way to just stagger them and keep them at distance. If you have corrective measure, I'll definitely be bringing that one because it's just so incredibly strong.
Bring out your old weapons, epilogue, corrective measure, predator revenge, yes.
Yeah, and a good, at least my secondary slot open for an exotic if I want. Although I think that's another point we'll get to in a bit. Using the newest weapons do have an advantage, but let's stick to the Nightfall first. Be careful with the Minotaur area and the last boss. If you stay upstairs, have someone just keep checking continuously for the Minotaur that spawns, and two people nuking him as fast as possible. The last time it was solar damage, he dropped like nothing, especially with Gallowharns and Icebreakers. Not this time. So it's gonna require a bit of more finesse to keep everybody alive and not die from the splash damage, especially if you're staying upstairs. If you go downstairs, you'll probably be hiding behind a big slab of rock, which is a good spot. I did see another cheesy spot as well, which basically, I mean, if you can reach it, it's not actually cheesing, I think. But it's downstairs and you jump up to the pillars. There's one spot where you can hide as well, but it's a bit more tricky to reach. But if you do want to go down, make sure you have a good hiding spot, which has a 100% safe zone, because it's just going to be impossible to stay alive with the damage from the last boss and all the waves that spawn. It's just going to be pretty crazy, even at level 31. So I do suggest staying upstairs. That's what I'll be doing as well. And I don't think that is incredibly cheesing, because I wanted to talk about that as well.
It is with solar damage, but not with void.
No, but I mean you're not glitching anything.
No,
you're allowed to stay upstairs. And you have to deal with the Minotaur that spawns there. That's the additional factor, I think.
But what is the definition of cheesing? Something that the creators didn't intend to do, but that makes it a lot easier.
Obviously, they acknowledged that people might stay upstairs, because otherwise they wouldn't have thought of letting the Minotaur spawn
that's
there.
true, that's true.
So it's there to force you down or to keep you on your toes if you stay upstairs. So you don't just simply nuke the boss. There's an additional gameplay element. So I actually think that's fine. But it is a bit of an interesting topic, especially now we are well underway with the new raid. And I wrote an article on the Magic Button site about Atheon cheesing. If you haven't read it or are interested, please check it out. But even Atheon cheese was, at least you maneuvered him off the platform and you did something yourself, even though it was, kind of weird. But I thought it was funny in a way. But the last boss in Crota's End, they're cheesing by pulling the network connection of the fireteam leader at exactly the point when he kneels, and he stays kneel down, and you can just nuke him with one sword if you spent your time well. And well, basically the entire premise of Destiny lends itself towards weird exploits. We've talked about this before, but especially in a new raid, if you look at a traditional MMO, stuff like this doesn't happen. I mean, if there's a small exploit somewhere, they patch it really quickly. But everything is so much more, the parameters are really more set. And in a shooter environment, you have so much more room for skill and for weird maneuvering to influence how you kill something.
And people get creative when they are driven in a corner. So
yeah, and cool stuff happens as well, because people beating the raid legit solo, that's just crazy. I mean, the first video I saw of the hunter, he did it in like 33 minutes or something.
Yeah, and I laughed really hard at the comments because someone said the Vex call him a god. So I guess it was very funny.
Yeah, man, that was impressive as hell. I mean,
yeah,
he didn't even cheese anything.
No,
it
was just legit.
Butchered through everything, and especially at Crota, dropping the sword, dropping his shield, picking up the sword again. And
no, that was insane. I wouldn't try that myself, even if I am level 32.
Well, I have begun soloing the first part of the raid because I enjoyed, fiddling with the gameplay as well. So I've managed to solo the lamp area and the bridge, which is fun to do.
With your hunter or your warlock?
I already cleared the raid with my hunter, so I did it on my titan and on my warlock. By getting myself launched into the air at the second lamp, up to a ledge, and you still have to play, and you just use elements in the game.
Is it hard to do? Because I did it on my hunter with invisibility, staying on the lamps, but I never did the launch thing on the third or
you just
second
have to know
lamp.
Exactly where to stand,
and then it's always.
And then you have to find your way, and you have to kill a knight, and you have to kill the ogre at the end. So it's pretty exciting just walking around in the dark with Weight of Darkness at 10 and being alone. It's pretty cool, I think. And the bridge, obviously you make some weird jumps and you snipe everything. But I enjoy filling with those kind of tactics. Pulling a disconnect to bug out the last boss obviously is not pretty.
No, someone
standard.
in our group called it low budget tactic. So
yeah,
it really is.
But I'm really curious if Bungie is ever gonna be able to work around stuff like this. And the case is, are they just slacking, or is this just really hard to avoid? I mean, I think some of the encounters have weird triggers in how they progress. Because basically the bridge area, it doesn't matter which side you're on, the trigger is when the two ogres die that spawn at the other side of the bridge. You've completed it. You get your reward. It doesn't matter if the bridge is open or not, or what happened to sword bearers or whatever. The trigger is the two ogres die. So anything you can do to get to the point where the ogres spawn and you kill them, whether it's from the other side of the bridge with an icebreaker, you clear the event. So I think they just have weird triggers in how to get through the different areas, and especially knowing that people are going to be very creative, you can be a bit more strict with how a certain encounter is concluded. I think that's just a weird system.
Yeah, do you think it's a curse or a blessing that we can cheese this so many times? Because Yeah, I don't enjoy it in this way, pulling out the internet cable, getting my free weapons.
No.
But I like the free loot, so it's kind of like, yeah,
I hope they get everything sorted for the hard mode launch, because right now
it's really
the race doesn't really feel half as epic or impressive as Fall of Gods.
No, I'm already planning to do it once solo with my hunter, then do it with friends solo with Warlock second part.
Yeah.
Pulling the internet plug out of Crota. Yeah, that's not how the race works.
It's not a lot of fun this way. No. So I hope they get everything sorted.
Yeah, me too.
And if you can solo something legit by doing, crazy stuff, that's
that's cool. Like the guy did on the internet.
Absolutely. But yeah, it does sort of take the magic away from exploring and progressing through a new raid, because it just feels everything is out on the table and everything's being raped independently, and it's kind of weird. Another thing is that's quite important. The topic of weapon damage. A lot of people aren't really clear on how it works. Basically, what's important to know is that any weapon you have, the 3 digits, take the last one away, and you know up to which level enemies it does optimal damage. That's basically how it works. So if it's a level 30 enemy, your level 300 weapon, 300 damage, will do just as much damage as a 331 damage weapon. Get to the point where you're shooting at level 31 and 32 enemies, like in Crota's End on normal, then any 331 weapon will be superior. So a lot of people, I mean, the Vision of Confluence and Fatebringer are still awesome, and they will be fine for Crota's End, obviously, but still, if you have a good primary with 331, especially since there aren't a lot of shields on the enemies in Crota's End, they will be superior to use, especially towards the end of the raid, where you just have level 31 and 32 enemies. So I don't know, do you have any new primaries, legendaries?
Yeah, I got a Cirrus Regime, a new one. I almost maxed it out. I got it from the Nightfall, I recall. And I got some cool, awesome new secondary and heavy weapons, which I want to talk about to you. What did you got from Crota?
3 sword breakers.
Is it horrible to laugh?
3 fucking shotguns.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
I'm so glad they fixed the random system of loot. I don't really even know statistically how, I mean, is that really just bad luck? I honestly don't get the system behind it, because if I decrypt 5 weapon engrams, there's a good chance 3 of them are the same weapon. Now I know with the amount of weapons available, statistically the odds of that happening are simply, so minimal. There's a weird system, I think, out of the
Still you got them, yeah. Yeah, it's really horrible, especially, no, it's not a really bad shotgun.
No.
But in comparison to the other drops from Crota, it is really bad, I think.
I'm happy with it. I just didn't really need 3 of them. But no, 1 will do.
Yeah.
But hey, it's reset. I think we're probably gonna have a go tonight.
Yeah. I already got my Black Hammer maxed out. Really happy with that. It's an awesome gun.
Yeah.
In PvE boss fights.
I still love Icebreaker too much. A lot of people are saying, oh, you don't need Icebreaker anymore because Black Hammer is here.
No, it's not as good as Icebreaker, but it is a fine replacement. And I also got the Song of Youth, the machine gun.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very, very good because I already got an awesome legendary machine gun, which I got from an Engram or Vanguard ranking up.
I do want it.
It looks awesome, but it isn't as good as you might think it is. But hey.
And I want the rocket launcher, the Hunger of Crota.
No, do you get it?
No,
no, you got.
No, I sword breakers.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, no, I need that one. Yeah, I want that one really badly as well. And of course, a helmet would be nice.
Yeah.
So I can get eventually to level 32.
Well, I don't need the helmet for that. I got a bunch of exotics. I want it for looks. But I will be running the raid with a 331 exotic primary for now, and switch to different secondaries and heavies.
Alright, so you say I can best use my Cirrus for the raid.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I enjoy just a change of pace as well. After a bunch of hours played with Fatebringer and Vision of Confluence, you tend to not use the exotics, the primary exotics in a raid. But they're actually really good right now if you have a good exotic. I'm using Hawkmoon and Thorn, and I have Monte Carlo maxed as well. So those three I'll probably use as primary, and see how it goes, because the 3-3-1 damage thing, you know, it should be noticeable towards the end.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna have another go and see what we got. As alluded to, we'll discuss it in one of the upcoming items. Which will be in 2 weeks probably, because of New Year's. So next week we will skip our weekly update. So we'll see you in the new year.